Hey there, my name is Porsha Lauri. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I'm doing something a little fun on my channel. I'm bringing back ranking videos, yay! I don't know if you guys love these, but you guys never tell me to stop doing them, so I'm gonna keep doing them from time to time. Today's tier list is going to be all about pop music. I'm going to be talking about some lesser known artists that were very prevalent in my childhood. So today we're going to be ranking some lesser known pop acts from the 90s/early 2000s. It's really not going to be anything that's come out in the last 10 years, I don't think. It's really going to be all like stuff that I grew up with. So I'm hoping this will be a fun trip down memory lane for you, or maybe you'll discover some older artists and songs that you didn't know that you love. As always, if you enjoy my opinion on all things pop culture, movies, TV, music, what have you, do me a solid and drop a like on this video, then run over to that subscribe button, hit the bell next to it so you can be notified every time I upload. I host a podcast with my boyfriend and his best friend Daniel, and it's called The Cinema Sit Down. You can find all of the information linked in the description box below. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify and or iTunes. We just sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about movies once a week. It's a lot of fun, and I'd love if you joined us. All right, so let's get into these rankings. I'll first go over my category list, and then we'll start just like throwing them into different areas. Icons Only is really gonna be for the category of songs where it's like, this is iconic, everyone knows the song. Second tier would be modern classics, and to me, this is kind of anything that is not like overwhelmingly popular, but it maintains a certain status as a classic. Next category is karaoke staple. I think that speaks for itself. Next category is I didn't know I knew this band, which is for places where I might mention a song and you're like, oh yeah, I've heard of that song before, but I never knew who did it. And our last entry is going to be our bottom tier ranking. This is industry plants / manufactured, which many, I think I forgot to mention this, but all the pop artists I'm going to be looking at today are all part of groups. These are all girl or guy or co-ed groups. I feel like something that was super prevalent during this era of music too was that like groups were doing really well financially. So then, of course, what do the record companies want to do is they just want to create more of that success. So then you get these manufactured girl-boy groups. So the first band is 3LW. And I feel like most people, when they see this band, they usually look at the pictures and they're like, isn't that the Cheetah Girls? 3LW was a girl group. I don't know how they got together. I think they were put together. I don't think they were just like natural friends that started a band. Now, from my understanding is that the Cheetah Girls, the books were like this huge series. I think I even read like a couple of them growing up. It wasn't really my jam, but I did watch the movies. And from my understanding, that book series did so well that they wanted to basically make 3LW, like they wanted to give them like a movie vehicle basically, and they were gonna basically take 3LW and make them the Cheetah Girls. And I believe, like, again, this is all alleged, but I believe something happened contractually or not everyone signed on. And that's why only 2 of them ended up going on to become the Cheetah Girls, along with, I think it's Sabrina Bryant and Raven. So I don't really know what exactly happened to Notori during that deal. But I think she winded up kind of, she winded up being okay otherwise. Okay, I did a little more digging into this whole 3LW fiasco, and basically Notori left due to compromises she had with management with the other girls, and then the girls ended up signing to Disney for Cheetah Girls. The rest is kind of history. 3LW had some like bops. No More was huge, and then Haters. So I don't think they're gonna end up in Icons Only because I can't really remember all of their jams, but I was quite a fan of 3LW. I remember owning their album as a kid, and like, I don't know, I was just really into them. I'm gonna throw them into I didn't know I knew this band. But the next band is a band called Five. And I don't think that they were wildly successful. Mostly what I remember this band for was the fact that they provided the main song, the main theme for Smart House. And then they had this other song that's called When the Lights Go Out. And I remember that song was like really edgy and like sexy. And like, was it appropriate for my 8-year-old self to be singing along to? Show you what it's all about. I swear you will succumb to me. No, but did that stop me? No. I'm gonna put this one also into I Didn't Know I Knew This Band because I don't think that they have enough in their catalog, and I don't think that their songs were pushed to the masses quite like some of the other artists. Now, as much as I wanted to stay away from like big staple groups, I feel like a few of them needed to make the cut for this to be a legitimate pop group ranking. So the next up, we do have the Backstreet Boys, which I have the pleasure of saying I have seen them in concert, and man, they put on a hell of a show. They blew up huge in Europe before they even like got big here. So like they've been doing this for decades. They better be one of the best bands to ever exist of all time at this point. So I am gonna throw Backstreet Boys into icons only. I don't think we need to discuss how just fantastic their discography is. If you wanted to know, my favorite Backstreet Boys song is The Call. It's the best song. It's the best song in their entire discography. Argue with the Wall if you don't believe me. Okay, so this next group, the chokehold this band had on my 9-year-old heart is insane. I was obsessed with this group known as the Ateens. Ateens was like a Swedish pop group, and a lot of their inspiration in their early days, and I think most of their early music, is mostly covers. And they covered a lot of ABBA, whom, if you didn't know, was a Swedish pop boy-girl group from the, I want to say 60s and 70s, but I think the majority of their hits were in the 70s. And if you're a musical fan, then you know that they took ABBA's music and turned it into the popular musical Mamma Mia. So when Ateens came out, they were kind of like my generation's answer to the original ABBA. And I think that's where their name comes from. I think Ateens was like ABBA teens. I don't know. I don't know exactly what was happening there. I think their entire first album might all be covers. I remember they had like a Super Troopers one. Dancing Queen was huge. That was all over the radio. That was everywhere. And then in their later albums, they did start making original music. So I will make a playlist of all of my favorite hits from everyone I cover in this video. Go over to my Spotify. It'll all be linked in the description box below. But I was obsessed with Ateens. I loved the way that their voices melded together. I thought they had great harmonies. So I'm gonna put Ateens into karaoke staple. And this is because the majority of songs that I think of when I think of Ateens, I am thinking mostly of their cover songs. The next group we have up is All for One, which I remember them being like a ballads band, and that's kind of how I think of them. I don't really have a lot to add about them, but again, staple of the genre. So they're gonna go into modern classics. I wouldn't say they're quite iconic, but they're like some of their songs are very iconic, but them as a whole, I would say that they are a classic. Oh my God. Okay, so the next band is B2K. B2K was such a big deal. They could dance, they could sing. They had some like swagger. I don't like using that word. I feel like a phony every time I use the word swagger. Yeah, they were such a vibe. And they had a lot of fun hits. I liked Bump Bump Bump. That was my favorite song. I also liked I wish any of their songs had real names attached. Also heard rumors that B2K was thinking about doing a reunion, but I think some of the members of B2K have beef. I don't know much about it, but I'm putting B2K, and this could be argued, I suppose. I feel like a lot of people might not agree with me, but I'm putting them in the modern classics. I thought they were a fun time. They're a staple of the culture. Next band is BB Mac. So this is super obscure and random, but if you were a Disney kid like myself, then I feel like you would remember this band. They kind of like owned Radio Disney for a hot minute. They were in like an episode of Even Stevens. I don't know if they were signed to Disney's record company, but for whatever reason, Disney was really pushing them out there. But I really liked their like soft, sultry sound. They were a little Irish band, I believe. But yeah, what a time. I'm gonna throw this into I Didn't Know I Knew This Band. Next, we have a little band that was Norwegian. Oh my God, yes. And it's called M2M. Does anybody else remember this band? They, again, such a staple of my childhood. Mirror, Mirror, that song. I can't even describe to you how that song resonated so much with my little 9-year-old self. M2M, I'm gonna put them in karaoke staple. I might be the only person performing their music at karaoke, but it deserves to be sung by somebody. Next is one of my favorite bands, largely due to my love for the movie Bring It On, but the next band I'm talking about is Black. I think I was into this band way before Destiny's Child came across my radar. And I think they all got started around the same time. So I'm kind of surprised that Black didn't have the crazy amount of success that Destiny's Child did. I love that they were all singers, but then they had a rapper. So it was kind of like the 2000s answer to TLC, if you will. And TLC was super cool. I've always been a fan, but they were so much older than me. And this band was a little closer to my age demographic, so I remember them being a really big deal. So I'm gonna put them into modern classics. I think you could still play a couple Black songs and people would know what they are. The next group is Danity Kane, and boy did I love Danity Kane. Oh my god. In case you're unaware of their story, I don't know the timeline exactly, but Danity Kane was created by P. Diddy on making the band, and there was all these trials and tribulations, all these ladies to cut down to these top 5. I never got to see them live. Their live performances supposedly were always super problematic. You can go on YouTube and find videos of them performing live, and they weren't great live, but I really enjoyed them recording wise. Damaged, the entire Welcome to the Dollhouse album is so good. Just hit after hit. It's really fiery. It's really good. I would say that they kind of go into karaoke staple, but I'm actually going to put them into industry plant / manufactured because they were, and I think it shows. And I think that's why they had some success, but not the crazy amount of success that we've seen from some of these other groups. So our next on the list is Destiny's Child, and I don't think I need to spend much time talking about them. If you want to know my full opinion on Destiny's Child and their music, you can check out that video right here. Destiny's Child goes into icons only, as if they belonged anywhere else. So next up we have Dream. And Dream was a female band that wasn't put together on a TV show, but they were put together by none other than P. Diddy. I think P. Diddy is pretty successful with garnering a solo artist career and helping them to succeed to global stardom. But groups, he does not have a great track record. Danity Kane, Da Band, and this one. None of them have ever reached global superstardom success. They've had success. They might have even had multiple albums, but they weren't wildly successful like your Justin Biebers or Ushers of the world. But anyway, I really enjoyed Dream. I don't think anyone else besides me really is aware of who this band is, so I'm gonna put them in the I didn't know I knew this band. The next band is another band that was put together by a reality show. I'm just gonna throw them into industry plant / manufactured, but it was technically Nicole Scherzinger of the Pussycat Dolls' first band, and it was called Eden's Crush. And this was put together not by the show making the band, but there was a show called Pop Star, I want to say, and it was on the CW, might have been the WB at the time. I don't remember. And I remember they had that one song, Get Over Yourself Goodbye, which again, I think if you hear it, you're oh, I think I remember this song. If you're a millennial, but if you're not a millennial, I think that this just flew by the wayside. Next up, we have the Jonas Brothers, whom I spent most of their first part of their career absolutely hating and dreading having to ever listen to them. But I used to work at a roller rink, so I listened to a lot of top 40 all the time, and man, were the Jonas Brothers big in 2008. Now, looking into 2023, I really enjoy them. I can even go back to listen to some of their older stuff, and I'm wait a minute, I was quick to judge, and I do like a lot of their newer music. So I'm gonna put Jonas Brothers, surprisingly, into icons only. I think at this point, they've established they have a long-running career. I think it shows that they have resiliency, and I think we'll see the Jonas Brothers more and more so in the future. Next up is One Direction, whom definitely again should go in industry plant / manufactured. I am gonna throw them into modern classics. begrudgingly though, because I've been able to go back and listen to the Jonas Brothers and appreciate them for what they are, but I haven't been able to do the same with One Direction just yet. I like them more individually than I like them together. Of course, we have the Pussycat Dolls, because why wouldn't we? And boy, is this the most manufactured of everything, but they're going in karaoke staple. What a time to be alive. I did have the pleasure of seeing them live once. No, twice actually. Not the greatest live performers, but they put on a show. The vocals weren't bad. I know that the Pussycat Dolls were trying to make a comeback, and now there's like a whole other, there's a lot of drama going on in that department. Next, we have a group called Steps. And I added them at the last minute because I came across this article that was like a bunch of obscure one-hit wonders. And one of the songs listed was the song 5678 by Steps. And that song, that was it. Like, I was obsessed with that song, and I listened to it recently and I literally went like, oh God, like it's bad. Like, I know I have bad taste, but now I know that like I have rotten taste. It's arguably a bad song. I don't really know why I liked it so much. And the beat literally makes me want to have a panic attack. I'm gonna put this into, I didn't know I knew this band because I kind of forgot about them, and I'd like to pretend like I was never a fan. Next, we're gonna get into the Click 5, which is a little bit different than the rest of them, but they were like pop artists for sure. Their big single was Just the Girl, and I absolutely adore that song. Plus, bonus, the drummer is Mr. Kate's husband. So pretty cool. But I'm gonna throw them into karaoke staple. I feel like Just the Girl is still a song that probably gets done at karaoke from time to time. And I think if you did the song, people would be like, oh yeah, I know this jam, and sing along. Next up, we have The Wanted, which I was quite a fan of when they came out. I think that they came out in, I want to say like 2015, 2016. Like, I feel like they were kind of Tumblr era. Like, Lorde might have been popular when they were popular also. And they were just fun. So I'm going to throw them into I Didn't Know I Knew This Song, because I think that's their best match. Next up, we have TLC, which we don't even have to talk about it. Icons only. TLC. Enough said. Like, you should know their discography. And then lastly, this band, I've been dying to talk about them, and I think I'm gonna have to do an entirely dedicated video on them. The last group I am ranking is going to be S Club 7. Now, S Club 7, I don't really actually know anything about the band or how they got together or anything. What I'm most intrigued by is that S Club 7 had this roster of like 7 people in their band, all singers, no musicians, all girls and boys. It's a co-ed group. And they also had like a TV show, and it wasn't a reality show. It wasn't like you were watching them like make records together and like fight about going on tour and things like that. No, they had like a TV, like a scripted TV show where they would do hilarious things. And I was obsessed. I was obsessed with this band. I loved all their music. Never Had a Dream Come True has to play at my wedding. That's how important that song is to me. They literally dropped off the face of the planet, and I have no idea what they're up to anymore. I think there was talk of them doing like some type of reunion, and I don't know if that ever came to fruition. I don't know if it just like didn't catch my radar. But I absolutely love S Club 7, and I want to learn so much more about them because I feel like, I don't know, there's just more there that I don't know about. So let me know down in the comments if you are also curious about the origins of S Club 7. I really want to put them in modern classics. You know what? They're my classics. I'm putting it into modern classics. Now, I definitely think it should go in industry plan / manufactured, because I'm not buying that these 7 people just formed naturally and decided to start a group. I think they were put together, but that remains to be seen. This is my final ranking. Tell me what you guys think. I feel like I definitely probably could have done more bands. So maybe if you guys enjoy this, let me know, and I will do another one of these. I will exclude everything we've already ranked and just make a fresh new one. So just let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this and it was fun for you, because I'd love to do it again. There are some that I left at the bottom, and those were either because I picked pictures that are so obscure that I don't remember who they are, or I just decided not to rank them because I didn't think it'd be interesting to talk about. But that's gonna do it for me today. I hope you guys had fun with my little short chart pop music ranking tier list. I will have a Spotify playlist with a bunch of my favorite songs from these artists linked down in the description below. As always, if you enjoyed my opinion, please do me a solid and subscribe. That way you can know every time I upload. I also have a podcast. It's linked in the description too. And I think that's all I got for you for now. So until next time, I will catch you guys later. Bye.